This is DIY Life Guide coming at you once again, and today I'm talking about the importance of doing it yourself. Why is doing it yourself important? In our modern world, we are forced to be specialists in this trade or that trade, and we work that trade to generate income, to support a lifestyle. We use the money we earn to pay other specialists for their services as well. I think this way of going about things is a little bit short-sighted, and I prefer to live life as a generalist of skills. Becoming just competent enough across a bunch of different skills. That way I'm able to provide myself many of the things that I need on a daily basis. Taking more things into your sphere of control by learning more skills, you get more satisfaction and a more independent feeling, and you ultimately are in more control of the things that are around you by learning how to provide yourself the necessary things in life. Doing it yourself is really important because it also can help you reduce your expenses, get in a position where you're more financially stable and you're able to meet your needs or cover your expenses rather easily because you've already been able to provide everything for yourself. In order to live like this, you need to be constantly learning about new skills, and most people don't like learning. It is difficult, but learning how to learn is one of the most important things. The biggest expenses that we have as people are housing, transportation, and food, and those are three areas that can be drastically improved by learning how to live a DIY lifestyle. Our goal is to learn skills that will be able to provide you housing, utilities, transportation, education, and food. And if you can learn skills generally through those areas, you'll be able to provide those things to yourselves, and then you won't have to rely on purchasing these things from others. The number one area to focus on for reducing expenses and bringing things more into your sphere of control is by providing yourself housing. Think about it like this. If you rent from somewhere or you buy a house, you are paying for the time of the people that built that house and have serviced that house throughout the whole life of that house, of that structure. But if you're able to provide those things yourself and also be smart with how you acquire materials, you can get reclaimed wood and really reduce the expense of building a house for yourself by being able to do it for yourself and also being able to acquire the materials, if not for free, cheap. For me, I built a tiny house for myself to live in out of reclaimed wood that I found. Just the process of doing that for myself, I was able to reduce my expenses tremendously and also create a space for myself that allows me to be the most productive version of me. The biggest exception to this is the price of land. So ultimately, you still have to buy the land from someone, but land can be a lot more affordable than buying a house on land for lending standards and things like that. But you can definitely reduce your acquisition price for if you do want to provide yourself housing. If you want to provide yourself housing at like a free or low cost way, the skills that you're going to want to acquire is anything involving handyman building skills. So surveying, carpentry, foundation, plumbing, roofing, electrical, paint, HVAC, any of those skills, if you can become a generalist in those areas, you'll be able to generally build a house for yourself. Those are the best skills to learn. The second way that you can reduce your expenses and live a DIY lifestyle is by providing yourself some transportation. For me particularly, I'm a fan of bikes, but also I use most of the time an e-bike to get me around. I was able to buy a bike locally and then attach a kit and a battery to it. That way I can get around pretty quickly, but didn't have to pay extra to buy a pre-built e-bike. It's also possible to provide yourself an affordable car if you're savvy with how to fix up cars, like mechanic work like that. Also, you can notice if a car is lower priced and you know why it's lower priced because it's got something that's broken, or maybe you can tell that the car is actually in pretty good condition and you're able to buy something that is a bargain for what you bought it for. So having mechanical skills like that would definitely help you in acquiring some type of a vehicle that would be more of a DIY built experience. The third biggest one to live a DIY lifestyle is to provide yourself your own food. Now, I can't say I've done this one personally. I have done some small harvests here or there with, fruiting trees and stuff like that, but I have not gone the farming route. But that's certainly an area where you could provide yourself just staple crops, have a little bit of a foundation of control as far as like your basic needs as far as groceries. Some other expenses that you're able to reduce or eliminate is by creating your own utilities or creating your own electricity. As far as water goes, you have a well that's drilled. You don't have to pay for that. You just have a one-time cost to be able to drink well water. Also, you can do water collection, collect some of your water that way through cisterns and filters and things like that. And the biggest one is electricity, getting electricity through solar or something like that, some type of a solar array. These are ways where you can take these things into your sphere of control, and that way you don't have to worry about outages. Also, these things are expensive. Water is expensive, so this can definitely help a lot. One of the biggest difficulties in living a DIY lifestyle where maybe you're thinking of going off grid is providing wastewater and waste removal, things like trash recycling, things like that. It is nice to have city services that can pick that kind of thing up. That being said, you can install some type of a septic tank, or you can have some type of a composting situation as far as with waste that way. Those are definitely two ways that you can get creative in trying to eliminate your wastewater expenses. Another way that you can increase your sphere of influence with a DIY lifestyle is by providing yourself education. We live in an age where this video is posted on YouTube. Pretty much all of the skills that I learned, skills that I listed earlier, I learned from YouTube. We live in a great time where information is free and we're able to distribute this from one person to another digitally, but also that can make it a little bit hard because you're gonna have to be accountable for yourself and teaching yourself this kind of stuff. So my recommendation as far as education, you can definitely get free education nowadays pretty easily. Go on YouTube, ask questions, listen to videos like mine. I can explain what I've been through. That way you know exactly what to do so you don't make the same mistakes I made. Over the course of my DIY career, I've picked up a lot of these skills just along the way through what I needed in the moment. Over time, it becomes easier to learn different skills, different things apply to each other, but I still enjoy the process of learning. This is how I built a lifestyle that is more DIY, meaning I'm able to provide myself different things. My expenses are a lot lower. I don't have to rely on other people to provide me these things. I'm able to build them myself or provide them myself, and that makes for a more rewarding lifestyle.